Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we're taking a look at the track My Cosmos Is Mine by Depeche Mode. This is the second single to be released from their upcoming 15th studio album in the form of Memento Mori. We already get to hear Ghosts again, which surprisingly had a much more upbeat tone to it. It's something we were not expecting from the band because they haven't done it for such a long time. Most of their post-2000s music has been very dulcet, very dark, gloomy tones that we have seen, maybe outside of the occasional exception where maybe songs such as Precious, which Ghosts again certainly did seem to draw some elements from, but certainly had a much more upbeat sound to it. And it also pondered the question, how would the rest of the album sound? Will we see the rest of it really have this upbeat, fluffy feeling to it, or will we see the return of those darker, gloomier tones that the band are very well known for? So I'm really curious to see exactly how this track will sound. Which side will it play to? I'm really curious to know. Will this song receive universal acclaim or be as dwarfish as Pluto? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds. Okay, so we're definitely seeing a return to the darker tones that Depeche Mode have really played with over the past number of years. I really did like that intro though. These colossal, heavy, big sounds that we did have coming in are from the bass. It's just really being brought in. Almost these world-smashing sounds. So considering the song is talking about the cosmos, I really do like that idea. We've also got these long, drawn-out spatial sounds as well. And the guitar work from Martin is really, really short. It's almost just sliding, like a shooting star darting across almost. It's really interesting to see how they've really made it such an expansive track despite slowing that pace down, really being quite sluggish and almost drawing lots of these notes out. Really gives this idea of this big open space in the cosmos effectively. I really do like how we've got this very sluggish pace. It's almost very haunting from Dave Gahan. He's really putting a lot of emphasis in just like really deepening these notes, really drawing them out, which is again just ties to the idea of this spatial theme we have got going on, and it's something the band have touched on in previous albums, previous singles. When you look at Sounds of the Universe, you look at Welcome to My World, they really do love to cover it in a lot of their material, and I definitely feel like this track is really revolving around the idea possibly of fame. Don't alter my headlines, this idea that kind of being famous, you tend to be in the news, you kind of put up on a throne, so this idea of don't toy with my emotions, don't toy with don't knock down my shrine, so I've built this world up almost, please don't go knocking it down. So again, this idea of, could also be tying around the idea of maybe personal life, this idea of being always in the spotlight as the band have done for such a long time. Don't play with my world, don't alter your view of me because of what a headline may say. So really does feel like some of these songs are revolving on this idea of don't mess with me as a person almost, don't destroy my world or try and bring it down, which is something that many of the paparazzi often can try to do, or certainly news outlets, when they really try and just put a lot of issues or a lot of stress onto the name of a person. Okay, I really like that chorus actually. I love the rhyming lyrics we have got coming in from Martin. Really adds a lot more pace compared to the very sluggish verses. We've got a lot more pace coming in there. The idea of war, more, just everything rhyming really helps to give it a nice sway and a nice swing to it, which again, these almost like chorus-like elements that we have got being brought in, these vocals being slightly drawn out and hollowed out, again adds this idea of space. It almost feels like you've got a choir of people, like a choir of gods in the cosmos almost. So they're building all the sounds, making them much more expansive by drawing them out, and it really is making quite a strong effect on the track. You have to admit the layering on this track is actually really, really well mastered and put together. There's nothing that really ever comes to the forefront of this track. You've just got little bits and pieces of different elements all coming in one at a time and really bouncing in and out of the track, almost just like stuff floating through space effectively, and it's just really great how they've got them scattered. They're never really quick and condensed. It's always given plenty of time for these sounds to really just fade, slow fade in, slow fade out. Again, everything on this track really is revolving around the idea of the cosmos of space, even in the way they've constructed a lot of the elements and a lot of the sounds into the track. I really like these hollowed vocals we've got from Martin really in the background, adding again to that idea of distance. It really just adds a very nice subtle effect to this track. If you just had him singing alongside Dave Gahan, it wouldn't have that same effect, but the way they've really hollowed it out makes it sound like he's halfway across the world singing along. So really great how they've actually done that. Again, every element is just constantly being thrown at this song in the exact same way, hollowed out, whether it's spatial, just all revolving around the cosmos idea that they've built into the lyrics and into the music. Well, it certainly is a very haunting track, but I actually really enjoyed that more than I thought. But as soon as it kicked in, I thought, oh, we're going definitely back to a much more gloomy Depeche Mode, and it's something they've worked on quite a lot over the past number of years, and it's something they've kind of come to work with very well. But I love how haunting Dave Gahan's vocals were in that track. I love how they had Martin in the background, these hollow vocals really adding a strong effect, and it does have a very sullen, gloomy tone, but it's also not completely downbeat to the point where it's depressive. I really like the use of the poetic lyrics in the chorus and some of the verses just to add a bit more flow to the track. I think without that it would be completely depressive. I think it would be a little bit too slow in its pacing, but I think they've managed to balance it quite well, and certainly something different from the band. This will be the opening track on Memento Mori, so this is going to be the first track you're hearing, so they're certainly going to be seeing a bit of a mix with the two that we have got. Two complete polar opposites, one extremely gloomy slow track and one that has been certainly much more upbeat, certainly much more pace to it. So I'm really curious to see how this album is going to flesh out as a whole, but I feel like overall I was actually really impressed with this. I like a lot of the elements they had thrown in the musicianship, certainly in the lyrics as well, and certainly you could tie a lot of different ideas into this track. You could look at the idea of fame with the references to things such as throne, the idea that you could build it around almost your own world and how that is perceived. So there's different ways you could look at this song if you wanted to extract meaning from it, but if you just want to enjoy this as a Depeche Mode track, it certainly has some very strong elements to it. So that will be everything for today's video, but please do let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. Do you think it lives up to the same hype as Ghosts Again? Do you think it's better, worse? What are your thoughts? Please do let me know. And if you want to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.